Hey everybody, welcome to Character Modeling Week 4. That's right, we're in Week 4, almost a third of the way through. Actually, probably a third of the way through after this week. So a lot of great things. It's going to be a busy week this week. So we're going to be finishing the character bust, and then we're going to actually finish like features like the eyes, the mouth, the nose, the ears, and really complete the rest of the character bust this week while starting on the character body. So a lot of really things to do. We have a really good discussion this week about ears as well. Excuse me about that, and a lot of great things to talk about. So let's get into it. I know it's going to be really busy. A lot of great things. So just give everybody a heads up on announcements. Just thought I'd let everybody know. So me and my fiance, we're actually having a child on February 16th. So if it gets a little tough around that time, just kind of getting back on message and everything. I do apologize for that, but I just want to let everybody know that we'll be having a son at like around that time, maybe earlier. So if things get a little spotty, but I'll let everybody know what's going on ahead of time beforehand if I tend to be late on a couple things or something. So just giving you a heads up, that's coming up. So just to be aware. Other than that, let's get into it and let's go. What to look for. So we're going to talk about eyes today, just kind of a heads up into it. And then we'll talk about ears later for your second announcement this week. So let's get into eyes and just see the differences in them. So yeah, when we're developing eyes for 3D animation and 3D models, we have to keep in consideration that the actual anatomy of an eye has multiple layers. Now, this includes a lot, not just from what we see from an outside perspective, like the iris, the lens, the pupil. Well, we don't even see the lens. The lens is actually behind the iris itself and the pupil. We see the cornea, the sclera, and just anything in this area we see. We just don't see this part back here, and that's because it's in the interior aspect. So and how the eye is shaped. And the funny thing about it is, with an eye, it's not really that round. It's actually more oval in a lot of ways, and it even becomes more oval around the lens area. So surprisingly enough, people think that eyes are perfectly round. They're really not. They're actually a combination of ovals and eye and circular. It's really impressive. Now, from when we're modeling the eye itself, we need to consider what to focus on in 3D, which is obviously when we're creating the actual eye slit or socket. We have to make sure we keep space so we can create the eye inside of it. So we have to start with simple shapes and work into the eyes of the layer and focus on how it appears externally. So a lot of times we just focus on the iris itself, the pupil, the actual inner part of this, which is called the coroncula, is actually really interesting. I still think I'm not even pronouncing that correctly. The wet layer itself, which allows the eye to be a little bit glossy and it looks like it's wet. We also have the sclera and the cornea, which is the white part of the eye itself. And those are really the main aspects that we focus on. And we have to, by adding the wet layer, we add detail to showcase that little shiny aspect of an eye. Now, don't forget about the eye socket if your character has one. So if your eye pops out on the top of it, you don't need an eye socket. But if the eye is recessed into the character's actual brow and everything, like a human's eye, then yes, you need to build an eye socket for that to make sure that looks like that. Merging a lot of different aspects with how its extrusions will work really well with that, and that's a good place to start with. That's why it's really important to create those eye sockets early on when you're in the second phase of it with the modeling and really cut them out so it's easy to really develop. And you can like put the eyes inside of it if you go into wireframe mode and actually like put in the view so you can actually build the eye from inside the model and then attach it that way. There's ways to go about that. So don't feel like you need to have all that done right off the bat. So you can go in stages. So it's a good way to look about it. So cool. So yeah, let's take a look at what you got this week. Just a quick look at eye anatomy. So when you're building your eyes themselves, you kind of take a look at what you really need to focus on the eye. So all right, so let's take a look. So I have your announcements real quick and your rubrics. They're already posted on the announcements. So for this week for your discussion, we're going to take a look at ears and actually animated ears. So it's kind of funny that forensic science has recently found a great use for human ear in things like criminal investigations. The funny thing about it is a human ear, no two person's ears are alike. They're kind of like fingerprints. So, you know, my ears, nobody else has them. They're just kind of built for me. So it's a great thing. So they're much like fingerprints and snowflakes. The application of criminal forensics, they're actually starting to use ear prints now. It's kind of interesting. Now, by matching photographs of offenders' ears, they can catch fugitives that way. So that's one way to go about that. So for this week, I want you to take a look at how ears look and how they're built based off their features. So I'd like you to do an internet search of 3 human-like cartoon characters. Please make sure they're different. Please don't choose one of the same person. I want to see 3 different types. And find an image where the character's ear is easily seen and post them to the discussion forum. And I would like you, for each one of these images, give me at least 2 to 3 sentences. Explain how the ears are designed specifically to the whole head of that character and what aspects are different and match the character specifically. So how does that ear fit that character and why? I'd like to see at least 2 to 3 sentences per each one, like a paragraph for each. That'd be great. But yeah, I'd like to see some detail with it, detailed examples. That would be awesome. That'd be good. And then for your reply post, just 2 discussion posts as always. Make sure that you give full detail. They're at least 2 paragraphs long, and they definitely give detailed, valued feedback to your classmate. That's really the big thing. So if you have specific examples that are detailed that you notice, if you agree with your classmate, please bring up why you agree with them and what are the examples that made you agree with that. If you disagreed with it, explain why you disagreed with it, and then use examples to back up your reasoning. That way we give detailed feedback to our classmates so they can fix their work. And that's really important, right? So especially when we go through critiques, those are important. So yeah, so this week, we need to see the full character bust turned in this week. So that's really important. So please make sure that's fully done and in its own separate file. I would like to just see the images of it. I don't need to see the project file this week. If you want to include the project file, you can. I'm just looking for the JPEGs or the PNGs this week. So I want to just see 2 views. Just take a look at it fully completed. That's it. So if you want to upload the 3ds Max file, you can, but I'm just looking for the images mostly. But I'll take a look at the 3ds Max file if you want to. I'll even do that. And then finally, we will begin your character's body. So yeah, this week I want you to start the character body. That would be great. So please go ahead and do that. Now, no, I'm only looking for about 30 to 50% completion. We're just starting this. So, you don't have to get into the arms. You don't have to get into the legs. If you want to just create the old body torso itself and the hips, you can, and the pelvis. That'd be a good way to start. Don't get in arms, legs, or feet. Now, if you do get a head, go for it. However, if you have time. But I'm not stopping you on that. However, definitely just looking for like the overall torso this week is really just what I'm kind of going for. Other than that, that's all I got. That's what we look for. Busy week this week. So please make sure to get ahead. That's why it's important to really get ahead on these checkpoints. So that way you don't have much work to finish up. Because we're going to be doing a lot of these, especially toward the end of the course. There's going to be where we're going to be finishing one checkpoint and going on to another one, especially with like skinning, rigging, animations. So that all plays a part with everything. So please make sure to stay ahead. That's the big point, because you don't want to get behind and then all of a sudden have to catch back up, because it's a lot to catch up on. All right, my friends, that's it. Be safe, have fun, enjoy. Hope you have a great week. And that's all I got. I'll see everybody for later in the week. I'll check in as always every day. And if you have any questions, let me know. And I'll keep you updated on the baby and let you know when that's going to happen. All right, everybody. Good luck. Be safe. Have fun. I'll see everybody later. Enjoy.